All right, let's talk about something that can be incredibly confusing. Choosing where to have a baby. I mean, you start looking at the prices and they are all over the map. So what are you really paying for at a super expensive hospital versus a much cheaper one? Let's break down what truly matters. This is the big question, right? It's what every expecting parent wants to know. You see some prices that are just astronomical, almost offensive. And then you see others that are so low you start to get a little nervous, wondering if they're cutting corners on safety. So how in the world are you supposed to navigate these two extremes?
And this is the dilemma you're stuck in. On one side, you've got these hospital bills that seem impossibly high. You have to ask, is it just a ripoff? But on the other side, you find these super low-cost options that honestly make you question, is this even safe? It feels like you're being forced to choose between your bank account and your family's well-being.
Okay, so to really get why some prices are so high, we have to talk about this trend that's popped up. It's this idea of hotel medicine, and it really plays on our perception of what quality looks and feels like.
So, what is hotel medicine? The term for it in Arabic is al-Tib al-Findaqi, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when going to the hospital starts to feel more like checking into a five-star hotel. The focus kind of shifts from the essential medical stuff to all these luxurious amenities. The hospital's marketing even starts to sell you an experience.
And you've probably seen this, right? We're talking marble floors, a premium view of the city from your window, maybe even a fancy coffee machine right there in your room. And look, these things are definitely nice to have. But do they have anything to do with a safe and healthy delivery? The evidence? Well, it suggests probably not.
So now, let's flip the coin. Let's forget all about the decor for a minute. What does a doctor, a medical professional, actually look for when they're judging a hospital? Well, it is a completely different checklist, and it's one that's pretty much invisible to most of us.
And this is so crucial. Your doctor's evaluation is built on years and years of technical experience. They see the systems, the staff, the safety protocols that you would never even know to look for. They're looking at the hospital's true foundation, not just the fancy wallpaper. This is the checklist that actually matters. We're talking about things like a powerful, robust infection control system, which is absolutely critical for both mom and baby. Or having an anesthesiologist physically on site 24/7, not just on call in case of an emergency. How skilled is the nursing team? Does the entire hospital operate on a cohesive, safe system where everyone is on the same page? These are the true pillars of safety.
Let's just zero in on one of those for a second, the nurses. The quality of the nursing staff, from the operating room to the nursery, can literally make or break your entire experience and the outcome. As you can see here, their skill and competency are just exponentially more important than what the room looks like. A great nurse is your advocate, a skilled assistant, and your first line of support. They're invaluable.
Okay, so if extreme luxury is basically a waste of money and extreme cut-cutting is flat-out dangerous, where does that leave you? The goal isn't just to be cheap. The goal is to be smart and to really focus on value. You know, I absolutely love this analogy from the source material because it's just so perfect. Think about it. You can buy a pie for a fortune at some fancy restaurant, or you can get a delicious one from a great local bakery for way less. They're both pies, right? But their value is completely different. The goal is to get a high-quality, safe pie without paying a premium for an unnecessary experience.
And this all brings us to the core principle here, moderation. In Arabic, it's al-itidal. The sweet spot is right there in the middle, between wasteful extravagance and dangerous penny pinching. It's all about finding a place that invests its money in what truly matters for your health and your safety.
This is the mindset you want to adopt. You are looking for the hospital that provides the absolute highest standard of medical care, using only what is necessary to get there. Every single penny you spend should directly contribute to quality and safety, not just pretty decorations.
So, how do you take all this information and actually make a choice? Well, the answer is a lot simpler than you might think, and it definitely doesn't require you to become a medical expert overnight.
Here's the key thing to remember. You've already picked an expert. It's your doctor. They're the ones who can actually evaluate all those hidden factors we've been talking about. And since they are the ones who are ultimately responsible for the outcome, you should trust them to choose the safest, most appropriate environment for you.
So here's your takeaway, your action plan. It's just 2 simple steps. First, have a really open, honest conversation with your doctor about your budget and what's important to you. And then, step 2, empower them to make the final recommendation.
They'll know how to balance your personal preferences with all the non-negotiable medical requirements to find the perfect fit. And at the end of the day, that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? When you look past the balloons and the fancy coffee machines, what is the core service you actually need? Are you paying for a luxury hotel stay? Or are you paying for the peace of mind that comes from knowing you are in the safest possible hands?